Bonsai, welcome to Way of the Fist, week 2, episode 2. How you doing, Shamoon?
Good, my man. How we doing, Drew? How we doing?
I'm doing good. Ready for this discussion. It's gonna be a lot of fun. How was your week?
Pretty good, man. I mean, because I'm also a Marvel fan, it's been quite a busy week for that. Just generally, yeah, for Cobra Kai, there's obviously been quite a few things popping in and out, and we were discussing about it before. Apart from the Miyagi documentary, there was the stuff with Janelle and Hiro not being part of Cobra Kai season 4. Obviously, Hawk's color hair, like that was a big discussion. Like we'll obviously talk about that. But yeah, my week generally has been good actually. Been pretty busy. But yeah, man, it was actually more busy than expected. So I still have to watch the Miyagi documentary, as I was saying to you. So I know you've obviously seen it, so that's gonna be fun to discuss once I know a bit more about it.
Yeah, I saw it. It's really good. I rented it on YouTube, so I don't have access to it anymore. But it was really interesting. A lot of cool stuff that it's one of those things where you see Karate Kid, you see Mr. Miyagi, and you think, wow, like Pat Morita, the actor, must be this perfect person. He must be exactly like Miyagi in real life. But and there are similarities, but there's also things that go on in other people's lives that you don't know about. And I feel like what kind of struck me about this documentary, and it's a good message, is like you can't just assume things about people from a movie or a show.
Right.
You can't just assume that that's them. Like there's more to a person, so don't make assumptions on someone. And it was really good. Yeah.
I get you, because Pat Morita, although we know him as Mr. Miyagi, and a lot of people do, at the end of the day, he's an actor and he's a human being. So he's a living being, and there's obviously a lot more to him as a person. And funny enough, the seriousness of his character and the way he speaks, a lot of people generally thought that that's how he was like speaking normally, but then people didn't realize he's like from LA and he has like a proper American accent. And I mean, it blew my mind when I heard the first interview with him, and I was just like, damn, he talks like that. It blew my mind. But again, that was because my perception of him was all about Mr. Miyagi. I didn't really think about where he really comes from and all the other details. It was quite a nice surprise, but yeah, definitely shocked me.
Yeah, you know what that's like. You watched the Karate Kid reboot, right, with Jaden Smith?
Yeah.
Remember that scene on the plane when Dre's like to that guy like I don't know, he spoke like Chinese or something, and then he's like, "Dude, I'm from Detroit." Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was a good thing. I don't think that scene gets brought up a lot, to be honest. A lot of people just bring up like the finale and all that kind of stuff, but obviously that film gets a lot of hate because it's not about karate; it's kung fu. So he's Kung Fu Kid.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's good in isolation. I don't think it like takes away anything from the Karate Kid or ruins the Karate Kid. I could understand. I could understand if you were someone who grew up with the movies, how that could kind of be offensive to reboot and make it like the other never happened. I understand that, but
Yeah.
for someone like me who didn't grow up with Karate Kid, it's like, oh, it's just another Karate Kid movie, like a remake. It's like you could choose to accept it or you could choose to ignore it, you know?
Right. I don't think they try to overthrow the original trilogy because they clearly made things very different in this film, and I think the general consensus is like, oh, this film's trying to reboot what we know, but I feel like that's just people getting having a bit too much pride for the love they have for the original Cry Kid. But I think it's like it's cool to see a different spin on it. But yeah, I mean, it got a lot of commercial success. I think it did better in the box office compared to the original.
Yeah.
But that's because it's a different era and the time. But we know if Cobra Kai or Cry Kid was out on the cinema like in this era, apart from COVID, it'd be getting a lot of money for sure.
Oh, for sure, definitely. Yeah.
Hmm.
Shout out to that kid named Cam for becoming an Orange Belt member. Enjoy the
Nice.
Discord server. So yeah, so and we also got wait, I'm trying to point to it. The logo. Yeah, we got that's like our
The
starter.
fist,
The fist, way of the fist. So
wave the fist.
me and Shamoon are talking about it. We're working on it. We'll work on an intro and stuff. But yeah, we're just getting the groove of things. And we got some exciting stuff planned that you know about, that I saw on your Instagram. You teased it a bit, right?
You had to, but I mean, I would have felt so bad if I went, oh, you know, I'm working with so and so and all this
Yeah.
about. I thought that would have ruined it a little bit, but the fact it's gonna come out like that, yeah, that's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait for everyone to understand what this is.
It's so fun to be on the side of knowing what it is, because I'm sure the viewers at home are like, can you just like tell us? Like, don't be like,
Yeah.
they probably hate us right now. Like they think we're, but it's fun to be on this side, you know?
Yeah, because you know when we're usually on that side with like Cobra Kai, because you know the writers are doing all of this and that, and we're here like making all these videos, theories, speculation. We're like, oh, we want to know what happens. It's like the viewers are now feeling like that with our content, what we're planning. Yeah, it feels nice to be that guy for once, to be like, I know what this is, but I'm not going to say.
Yeah, like John Hurwitz will post like tomorrow, and then we're all like,
"What
"What does that
God.
mean?" But now we could post tomorrow for our viewers. Like I do that all the time. Like it's so fun. Like everybody, no
well,
one
it's like that. It's like Instagram post you did. You started with I'll, then make a, and people were like, I was like, wait, what is this? Like, is this like is he announcing something huge, like a collab, or just generally something Cobra Kai related? Then when it got to it, I was like, wait, okay, I've never seen that quote before, but then it made sense when I realized it was a song, and yeah that was a great idea.
Thanks. I mean, I guess it wasn't like, it wasn't the biggest buildup, you know. It wasn't like the biggest project I've done. I guess like people might have been expecting it to be a little more than just a 3-minute video, but you know, it's all part of the fun, you know. Maybe if we got something cooking again, we could do that.
Right.
Like a 3-sentence thing, and I'll just post one word a day. It'll like take the course of 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll work well again.
You know where I got that idea? Mark Hamill, the actor of Luke Skywalker, did something like that on his Instagram account, where like people thought he was like saying, this was before the episode 9 title of Star Wars came out, so people thought he was like hinting at the title. So he posted one word a day for like a week, and then it ended up being something like, I don't even remember what it was, but it was something like, it was a complete joke. But I took inspiration from him for that. So
well, you're a true Star Wars fan, you know. You clearly followed the same thing that Hamill does. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. So do you want to get into our first main topic, the hair?
Sure, of course. We gotta get into the title of the video. We Hawk's red hair. I mean, there's another image that got released, you know, for Valentine's. You probably saw it. So a bit of background: people aren't actually sure how this has all come to where it is. So it was simply Xolo put a story of Jacob and him planning a podcast, which is funny enough because we've just dropped our podcast. What are they trying to do? Compete with us?
Dude, we should collab with them.
Xolo, if you're watching this, you better watch out.
We gotta collab with them. We gotta do it.
Oh man, yes. Now, do you know what? This is gonna. People are gonna be so scared. Wait, is this what they're planning?
No, it's not. It's not. Not
you
yet.
know, guys, I think we would have to build it up if it was. But yeah, moving on. So yeah, Xolo posted the story of that, and then he shows a moment of Jacob. I mean, he looks like he's high here or something. His eyes, but yeah, you can clearly see the red hair. And in the image, when I saw it on Instagram, it looked kind of like orangey red. So I was throwing out there, is this going to be orange, like a slight different tone? But the new image on Instagram for Valentine's Day pretty much confirmed that it's fully red. It's just the lighting in this image. So yeah, Hawk's going to have red hair, but for how long is the question?
Yeah, well, we definitely know this is early on, so I mean, it's not much of a surprise. You know, he's not going to be going to the barber right after, or to Rico, wherever he goes, and getting his hair changed. You know,
yeah.
So it's definitely they're definitely early on in the filming process, so it'll be early on. I don't know if here's the thing with the hair, like, you know, I don't know if it's gonna be something where he's like always just changing it. I know like he changed from blue to red, but I don't know if it's gonna be a consistent thing. Like maybe he'll do one more change, but like
Mm,
later on, I don't think it's gonna be a thing where like each season he changes. But I think the reason why he's gonna keep the red for now, and I think throughout the whole fourth season, maybe until the end or something, is
mm,
because um it still represents his like confidence and his
mm,
power. And let's remember, without that mohawk, if you cut off that mohawk, he's back to Eli. He's the
right.
same guy as Eli. So that mohawk is the only thing that's keeping him kind of like more makes him have more dominance over the others. So I feel like he's gonna
Mm,
keep it red. I don't think he wants to go to a color that's gonna like make him look less badass. You know, maybe green would be
right.
badass, but like
A
red,
lot of people would like to see that color. I mean, I know what
yeah.
you mean though. Like, I totally agree, man. I feel if he loses the mohawk, and then like, yeah, it represents the confidence he got throughout Cobra Kai, and obviously the flip the script moment. And you know, the maybe the color represented the change. You know, he went from the blue mohawk, but he was kind of like evolving still, and then he became fully badass by like the end of season 2 and season 3. He's like evolving again, and then he's like, I want to be a good guy, but I don't want to be an asshole. Like Johnny said, you know, don't follow
I'm
that the
sorry.
mercy stuff.
I'm sorry. I'm just getting, I'm just looking at this image right now. This is the like
Oh, is it because I'm saying badass, and then you look at his face, and he looks like a derp?
dude,
Or
should I pull down this image? It's like the most like you're right, he does look pretty high in this. Look at his oh god. This is like
well, you know what? This has actually turned into the roast of Jacob Bertrand. Like, let's roast him on his
no,
images.
we love you, Jacob. I mean,
Yeah, we love you,
Shola
man.
Shola caught you off guard here. Well,
Cholo,
technically this
Cholo did
wasn't.
you dirty, bro.
well,
Oh god.
I mean, this was a video, so I like screenshotted this. I don't think this was meant to be
Yeah,
screenshotted.
same. It was not an intentional, like, oh look, I got a mugshot of Jacob, but yeah. Oh man.
Oh god, sorry. What were you saying? What were you saying?
No, I mean, I completely got thrown off when you were making that point because that was hilarious. Like, I mean, yeah, just look at the more you look at it, the funnier it gets. I can't take it seriously. I'm trying to talk about him being a badass evolving, and you just see how. Oh dear. Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh wait, have you got the other image? 'Cause that one is quite funny as well. It's
Oh,
the Valentine's one.
I don't have that image. I didn't want to make it. It was a little graphic for the channel.
Yeah.
It was a little. It was more like. It was a little above PG-13.
Yeah.
He's got the flower in his mouth. Like,
Yeah, that's even Shola like being in the bath as well. That was funny though.
is that the same bathtub? We know they're like living together, right?
Well, the thing is, yeah, that's another thing to point out is the fact they're planning a podcast. They've obviously got all this time other than filming, and they're definitely in their own bubble. So I think these guys are probably just doing like a lot of, apart from like, you know, the stuff they're doing with the filming and all that and acting, they're definitely planning and they've got this free time. So yeah, I think they are living together by the looks of it. That's definitely part of the protocols, I feel.
Yeah, that's cool. They're buds.
Oh, this is another thing that I thought of. If they're actually in a bubble together, then doesn't that kind of mean like they'd be doing more scenes together? Because with I don't know if they're specifically chosen pairs. It's just the fact, you know, you can choose, or they've just generally gone, okay, we're going to put you with people who you're going to do a lot of scenes with, just to avoid, you know, contact with others and all this COVID stuff, so they can control it. Do you think it could be something to do with them both being in more scenes together?
I don't know, because last season they were I don't know if they were like living together, but I think maybe they were. I don't know. I remember them being together a lot last season, you know,
Mm.
and even in season 1. So, I mean, we know they're going to be in a lot of scenes together because of the whole they're in the same dojo now, which I never you know, obviously like we know that Demetri, Hawk, Miguel are in the same dojo, but like when you go back and watch season 1, when you see them at the lunch table, it's like, wow, like now you like kind of connect it. Like those same nerds were never in the same dojo. And now like the 3 of them, like from that point to the end to season 4, it's like now they're all together. And you even have Sam, who it's just like when you go back and watch season 1 to see all the relationships, the chemistry, and something I kind of picked up. Well, I mean, not really, but Yasmin and Sam, Yasmin and Sam, they kind of like buried the hatchet, you know? Like I know, Sam went over, or Sam saw Yasmin and Demetri kissing, and she was like, "Oh, Yasmin!" Like, so that like at first I thought like, you know, like that doesn't really mean they like are friends again. But then in episode 4, I didn't notice that Sam was like, I kind of like didn't connect that Sam was sitting at Yasmin's table.
Mm.
She went to sit at Yasmin's table before the whole Hawk thing and
Right.
Demetri with the Legos. So I'm curious to see if there will be like they'll explore that friendship more in season 4 with Yasmin and
I
Sam.
think they will, because I mean Yasmin's kind of coming back, and I mean it would definitely give her more involvement, and perhaps she will kind of apologize to Sam for what she was like. And you know, if her and Moon and with her and Moon and yeah, all 3 of them together can like just chill and be friends again, you know, that is kind of, it works as well, because Demetri's kind of with her. Miguel is obviously back with Sam, and you know, with Hawk and Moon, that's something that I feel that would definitely happen in season 4 again. It's just bound to happen, but how it happens, I feel like those guys will definitely be an influence, and you know, Moon will probably start realizing Hawk's not, or Eli's not really that bully or that guy that she dumped in the first place. But the Sam Yasmin stuff, a lot of people think Yasmin's gonna just get involved in karate now she's with Demetri, and perhaps she'll join Miyagi-Do. I mean, that would be interesting to see her and Aisha fight. But like, yeah, if Aisha comes back and she sees Sam being friends with Yasmin, can you imagine that stirring up some spice right there? Just
yeah, man,
Part
that
2,
would be a whole
Yasmin
thing.
strikes back.
I think what's so great about the show, and what I really like what they do, is they don't just make everyone a karate student. Like I know they made Kyler a karate student, but that's okay because you know we know he was a wrestler. But to make like Moon can never join a dojo. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. Because what's so great about the show is like, you're not just gonna have everyone join a dojo. You have like the people who are connected to the dojos, but then you have like the people who are not connected to the dojos but are still like in the story. And I think the 2 combinations, like Amanda LaRusso isn't gonna be a teacher at Miyagi-Do. Like that's what makes her character so special, is that she thinks the karate is like, she's not like really a huge fan of it. So yeah.
That's a good point, because as much as I would love Moon and all these other characters, even like Carmen, to get involved in karate, they have been the type to go, no, we don't need it. We need people that go against karate, because then it kind of brings more to the story. Like, yeah, if we had the whole of Cobra Kai series, just everyone is about karate, then you're always going to wonder, what if someone opposed it? And you know, there's so many characters in the story, like, you know, Moon, Amanda, Carmen. I mean, you could even throw Yaya in there, although she's not really involved in anything like that. But there's quite a few characters that are indirectly involved just because of, you know, someone or something is bringing them in. But we need those characters because it kind of levels out the show, because obviously there'll be people who want to see those perspectives like us, and then obviously see the badass karate stuff. But they add more to the what would you say, like the development of the arcs, because you know they're not about karate, so they bring more of that storytelling and throughout their characters, you know.
Yeah. Cobra Kai is not about karate. It's really like when you look at it as a whole, it's kind of like Star Wars. It's not about the lightsabers. It's about the characters and what they go through. Karate's just a way of expressing the story. They don't just like when you see Miguel and Robbie fight, it's not about, you're not like paying attention to the fight. You're paying attention to like rooting for Miguel and then Robbie, who's Johnny's son. And if you want Miguel to win, but if Miguel wins, you have Johnny, who's a character who you care about. His son is losing. So, and the writers even say, like, they don't just make the fights like to have fights. Like, every fight tells a story and advances the story. Like, if you look at the young Kreese flashbacks, him fighting David and the other guy, you know, sure, it's an epic fight, but it was progression. If he never fought those guys, he would have probably never signed up for the military. It all tells a story. It all connects, you know?
That's a good point. Like, that's what they're really trying to do with this show. It's not just, you need to, you know, there's just karate and that's it. It's obviously the look at the arcs. Like, apart from karate, what do these characters do? For example, Johnny, he's kind of almost like a surrogate father to Miguel. He's obviously a sensei when he's obviously doing karate. And then obviously with Daniel, he's got his own car business. He's got his family to look after. And, you know, all the other characters as well. I mean, there's so many different genres throughout this series. So it really brings out more than just karate. And karate is one aspect of it. That's probably like the common ground for people who are into Karate Kid. And then you see all this other type of things unravel. It just brings more to it. And you're right, it's not just karate. It really is completely bigger than that.
Yeah, it's about the characters. You know what I mean? That's the focus of the show, and they're telling the story through the karate. And I've always said, like, this is something like I live by, like, or not that I live by. It's something I've always said, like, regarding Cobra Kai. Like, I feel like the reason this whole show exists is to end each story with like a satisfying conclusion. And it's like, if you look at Tommy, like, Tommy's a perfect example, because obviously the actor passed away and so did the character. Tommy and Karate Kid was completely like, well, he wasn't forgettable. You had the get him a body bag. Yeah,
that was a huge moment.
that was great. But then you just knew him for that. He was just the bully. But then Cobra Kai, in one episode, they pretty much reintroduce him in this like really great way, make him like give him this advice that Johnny really takes with him, even after Tommy dies. And even though Tommy died at the end, you know, his whole arc was like completed. And even with Chosen and Komiko, I know you said we might see them again. I personally don't think we will, but even if we don't see them again, their arcs were completed if we didn't see them. Like, Chosen was left on a better way than he was at the end of Karate Kid. So I think with each character, even Kreese and Silver, if Silver comes back, I think they're going to, like, the whole goal of the show is to end their characters in this like satisfying way. It's like, we needed this ending, because sure, Cobra Kai has been great so far, but you can have 5 great seasons and then season 6, Johnny dies because Daniel kills him. And then it's like, okay, well, all that was pointless. Right. You know, we never needed this show. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Do you see what I'm saying? Or
yeah, I mean, just thinking about that last point, especially if they killed a character that we've been growing to love even more than just the original trilogy, and you go through all those seasons and then bang, they just leave you on like that. What is the point of the show? Do you just bring them? It's almost like you're bringing them back just to then kill them and then have this sort of the killing part. That'd obviously have to be if it makes sense for the arc. Like, if it's like Iron Man, you know, that kind of makes sense. But with this, it's kind of like, it's probably a bit too much. And I feel like the good guys will win, but it could be at a cost. But I mean, this ain't Star Wars. This ain't the Avengers. It's like, it's a bit more realistic in that sense. You know, it's very, very realistic in a lot of sense. Apart from all the crazy karate battles and stuff like that, I like the realism of the show. damn, I really hope we can go longer than 6 seasons, but you know that there's always that risk if you overrun things and it starts to lose its quality. And I think for me, I'm just excited for Cobra Kai because every season delivers, and you know we both have a lot of faith in the writers. It just gets better and better, and I can't lose the faith because from what we're seeing, it blows your mind. So yeah, man, I totally agree with what you're saying. It really has to have like a, even if we're talking about endings, it has to have some sort of conclusion that we fans like.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like I'm not like I know like the writers, they have it in mind, and I'm sure that was the first thing they pitched because once again, you know what I mean? You have to know like where you're ending the whole show. Like I know it's cliche, but like I mean the ideal thing for Johnny, you know, is like to get married and have a family. Like because think about it, like that's kind of what the show is setting up, like him like kind of like having a real family. Imagine like him just not having a family at the end and him just being himself, like being just him. It would kind of take away from everything that's worked up to, you know?
Have you watched Game of Thrones?
I've not.
Okay, I was going to bring up a really good point from one of the endings from that, but I won't because there's spoilers, and I don't know who else hasn't rewatched it.
Yeah.
I'll probably leave. It was kind of to add to your point, like leaving the character where they started is just not an ideal thing. You know, it kind of contradicts the entire arc. If let's say, yeah, Johnny's this guy, he's actually, you know, he's pretty low, he's going through all of this, and suddenly he ignites that fire to bring back Cobra Kai. He wants to do karate, something he learned from a young age, and then in the end, he's like, screw karate. Just screw it. After all the stuff I've been through, all right, leave it. And yeah, I don't want to be with anyone. All right, bye everybody. I'm Johnny Lawrence, and that's my story. It just wouldn't make sense. But yeah, man, I think it's so important. The storytelling throughout this series is one of the most important elements, and they've got a smack bang on, like with everything they're doing with the characters. I think every character's had a really big moment, or they've had great development. And you know, the big guys like, you know, Johnny, Daniel, I feel like they're gonna have the most satisfying conclusions because it's things that we didn't even see in the original trilogy for them. And it's gonna be, you know, talking about the end of the show now, man, it's already making me sad. I just don't want to imagine that. Like, can you imagine, like, literally no more Cobra Kai, like just like that? I mean, we've obviously got spin-offs and stuff, but yeah, you know, good things don't last forever, so that's something to live by for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely that's why sometimes I don't mind waiting for it. Like we have to remember, guys, like you can get season 4 in a month, like, but like I would rather wait a year because the more we get the seasons, the quicker we are to the end. Like because this gap, you know, we still have Cobra Kai. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though we're not watching it, the show's still alive. But the quicker the show comes out, once it's over, it's over. You're not waiting for anything else, like regarding Cobra Kai.
Great point. Like I feel it, you know, I feel I completely understand the fans if they're like, oh, we've been waiting long, we want the season now, we want to see what happens. But at the same time, we have to have patience. Every fandom and fan base goes through it, you know, unless, you know, that like specific show or film is extinct and they're waiting years and years for a reboot. I feel like with Cobra Kai, you know, it's delivered every season, and I wouldn't want it rushed because I don't want to, you know, cause any sort of problem with the show. Like I said, I don't want that quality going down. I mean, as much as I want it, you know, in a year's time, even if it's like a year and a half I had to wait, it might seem annoying, but it is worth it. Like you said, I mean, we're living through this time now where the hype is still there. Yeah, we're not at the peak of the hype, but yeah, that gap, like you said, we've got the hype for the show still, and that keeps us going every day. You think, I love this show so much, you think about it every day. I mean, you probably think about it. You remember that dream you said about, and yeah, you have those moments, and every day you're just thinking about the show, whether it's this or if it's a video or however we see that love and passion. I mean, I feel like the longer, oh, your webcam's, oh, it's back.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like the longer the show runs, like, yeah, the more we get enjoyment in our lives from it too, and it just lasts longer. I'd rather have a longevity than something just gets cut short,
Yeah, that's a good point. It's special waiting for the show. And if Cobra Kai ends at season 6, me and Shamoon promised well, I'll be Johnny, he'll be Daniel, and we'll make a season 7 for you guys.
Yeah. We'll have to, that'd be really fun, I'm telling you now. What if season 7? We're just in the show.
We'll just like recreate it here on the channel. Like we're on YouTube. We'll bring Cobra Kai back to YouTube.
YouTube Red. Oh man, yeah. So we'll go back, and then maybe they'll take us to Netflix because we've got our own thing going on. Man, that's a smart move.
After they finish the show, like after they finish the whole show, we'll meet with Ralph and Billy, and we'll pitch them our season 7.
Oh man.
We'll be like, okay,
do a whole
seasons 1 through 6 were good, but we got a good season 7 through 20. We got a good idea for the next 10 seasons. Johnny and Daniel.
Can you imagine the actual plot was all about Anthony, and we'll just say, Daniel, look, we feel like your son didn't get enough limelight in the show. Well, not obviously his real son, but the character. And we would like to do 10 seasons with Anthony, just to show you that Cobra Kai was a prequel for his story, although he's hardly in it. Oh,
he's the real Karate Kid.
He is Thanos.
Dude, I was actually gonna ask you about I think they're setting I was a little surprised that he only had one scene in season 3. I thought he was gonna have a little more action because in season 2 he was very non-existent. In season 1 his character was one of the most underrated highlights of the show. Like every time he was on, it was just comedy gold. Do you think now with the new dojo there's any chance of seeing him join?
Oh, see, the thing is, one moment that really sticks in my mind when I think of Anthony is at the All Valley in season 1. Do you remember when he was sat with Daniel and he was like, yeah, this is awesome, and Daniel was like, all right, like he was proud. He's like, my son is liking this. Oh, this is my step to getting him into karate. It's just like how Palpatine taught Anakin. He's like, yes, this is my protege. Like I feel Anthony has to get some sort of involvement because they showed him like, in season 3, that moment with Amanda saying, to Sam about, why are you bringing guys over when there's no more karate, and all the other guys. And I really feel that Anthony's being underused, especially being the son of Daniel LaRusso.
Yeah.
At some point, I feel, with certain character arcs, they ran its course and they really developed it. I feel they need to implement a perspective of Anthony when he's in school, and maybe he goes through something similar without it being cliche, and we just kind of see a bit more development. And he kind of like, I want to learn karate and get more involved. And someone made a great point, I think on one of my streams, about how Bert and Nate, because they're getting older, they can become more of an asset to the All Valley, to the dojos. Because obviously after Miguel, Sam, all those characters, they are above 18. They can't really be at the tournament anymore. So all these younger characters like Anthony, Bert, Nate, and there's probably a few others, they could basically have more development and have more limelight in that sense.
Yeah, I got you. I agree. I mean, that's a good point because we're probably gonna get I think it's pretty obvious we're gonna get the All Valiant season 4, but but after that the characters are pretty much aged out. We all know they're like 17, so they will be aged out. But that's the thing though, like are we gonna see Bert and Nate in an All Valley? And where's Miguel? Like you get what I'm saying? Where's Miguel and Robbie? It's like,
right.
I don't know if we're gonna be getting another All Valley after this. I mean,
it's hard to say.
It's the last one.
I feel like they really need to change it up, and we want, if we're expecting a tournament in the final season, if it is, season 6, hopefully it is. They could have another tournament, but again, it's gonna be hard to include the characters that we all love and we want to see. So I mean, if they might go a complete different direction. I think a few people, theories and things I read, a few people made a point that it's might go beyond All Valley. Maybe they have a tournament that, I mean, we even talked about this. I don't know, that they could go national, or like maybe compete with other dojos around the world and kind of compete and show like who's the best at their age. But I mean, it's obviously focused on the valley and just generally that. But if they brought the tournament, I feel like they need to go on a bigger scale, because that could introduce a lot of characters. They could bring up a lot of different things, and it would be pretty cool to see something like that. But if this is the last tournament, man, I'm not going to be annoyed. I'll be happy, because then I'm thinking what they're going to do with the story. Like, things are going to get darker and deeper, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. I think I never really thought about that, like what you said about like a bigger scale tournament, like traveling the world or something. But then I feel like it kind of, like, I know we were talking about like how the show's not really about karate. It's more about like the characters and the story, and the karate is told through the karate helps tell the story. But I feel like if you're traveling the world for karate, then it kind of becomes about karate.
Right.
These kids got to be karate champions, which Miguel wasn't trying to be a karate champion. He was just trying to not get bullied,
Right. He found strength and confidence throughout Cobra Kai, and it might have seemed, I remember when Carmen says he was a sweet boy to Johnny in the end of season 2, but like he wouldn't have had that strength and confidence to fight all these bullies. And obviously that's because he got injured and all that kind of stuff happened. But again, it's not really just about the karate. The karate only pulled Miguel to develop, and then he was obviously a bigger character going forward just because of his development. And you just love that journey. The journeys you see these characters go through is the one thing that we all love. And yeah, throughout, if it's from karate, if it's just like someone like Amanda, it's got the more moral support, and also is more logical about things and kind of sees it from that third perspective. I love the different perspectives in the show, so they can add to that. With Aisha coming back, I really hope that will spice things up more. I mean, man, it's just they can do so much. There's still so much to do with the story, and yeah, I mean, even if there's no more tournament, there's a lot of focus on the storytelling aspect. Then
there is, yeah, and I mean, a lot of people thought season 2 was there was gonna be a tournament in season 2, and the fact that they were able to do 2 seasons with no tournament, being 2 and 3, like, it just goes to show that I think, like, I believe that this is going to be the last tournament we're going to see, because if Terry Silver returns, which he probably will for this tournament,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. You know what I mean? You can't do. What are you going to do? Another tournament with Terry Silver? But I do agree with you. If they were to do some sort of karate tournament thing, it wouldn't be the All Valley. It would be something else, something like on a much larger scale. But yeah, this is the last like All Valley. We're gonna get You're the Best Around.
Yeah, we have to.
It's a must. Like, imagine like seeing like something I think about whenever like in that sequence of You're the Best Around is seeing Kreese, like when it cuts to Kreese talking to Johnny, and they're like whispering to each other, and you don't hear what they're saying because the music's playing. Like, that always fascinated me. It's like, because it's that father-son connection. They're talking about like their strategy or what we don't really know what they're talking about. So like, I want to see You're the Best Around playing. I want to see like if Miyagi Fang lands a point. I want to see Kreese and Silver like, okay, I think we gotta like,
I hope they get the same shot as well. I feel way more immersed. You feel like you're at the tournament, don't you? Like, you're like, damn, I'm seeing this right in front of me. Like, I can see Terry and Kreese trying to slither their way through and think of some sort of strategy. I actually think that's a really great thing to point out, because the detailing in the tournament when all the You're the Best is playing, you're really watching everything that happens. All the other fights are going on, and obviously Daniel going through these fights. And I feel like You're the Best in season 4 at the tournament would be better than even if it was at the first tournament, because or in season 1, because like there's obviously the stakes are so high. We see Terry, we see Kreese. I mean, we never heard that song with them either. They kind of skipped the tournament in Karate Kid 3. They just kind of got straight to the end. So we're going to see the tournament again, but in full, like all the moments perhaps. And yeah, I mean, someone on my stream the other day was saying about, another dojo being included that could kind of get in the way of Johnny and Daniel's team up, and could really ruin their plan to stop Cobra Kai. Do you think any familiar faces, like, you know, perhaps if it's Barnes or another character, do you think they're going to turn up at the tournament, or do you think they'll kind of bring them in a little bit earlier than to the tournament? I don't think I've asked you this.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, Silver, it's a little tricky because they obviously set up Silver's return, and he's the big one. You know, you're talking about Silver. You're not talking about Mike Barnes. You know what I mean? You're like, when you're talking about who's returning more. Like, so if you have Silver return and then Mike Barnes, it's like, oh, like Mike Barnes, but like, you get what I'm saying? Because in order of importance, Silver is more important, and it's a little different because they're gonna bring him in probably before Barnes. I wouldn't be surprised if Barnes comes in at the tournament. I don't think
It's pretty cool.
That would be pretty sick if he had his own. Dude, what if he's like the new teacher at Topanga with Aisha?
Oh, yo, and then Xander and Aisha are like the top students. And they just reintroduce. That's like a big way of bringing those characters back. And imagine if Mike just walks past Kreese and Terry and he sees them and he goes, "Your karate is a joke," and then he walks past. Can you imagine how badass that would be? This is some fan fiction, but you know, like, dude, that would be so cool.
It's like you just hear the voice like, "Hey, your karate's a joke," and then like you see like Silver and Kreese turn around and the camera like pans and shows Mike like standing there like right up in their face. I don't know.
You know, I feel that Mike will probably seem like a bad guy at first, but I think what he'll be that mutual type of person. So he's not going to get involved in all the Daniel Johnny team up with, you know, against like Terry and Kreese. He'll probably know about it, but I think he'll just, if he represents his dojo and he has Aisha and Xander of Topanga, that would be pretty badass. Unless he brings his own dojo. I mean, I don't know what he'd call his own dojo, but I know it would be a good name for sure. Reintroducing like Mike Barnes is also something that's fascinating me. Just we're waiting for Terry. We kind of have ideas and a way of seeing it, but I mean, with Mike, it could happen so many different ways. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of ways he could come back. I agree that he's not going to be like this evil guy he was back in Karate Kid 3. I think he's going to be kind of like Johnny with like when he teaches karate, it's no mercy, strike first, strike hard. Like, he's going to be vicious when it comes to the karate, but I don't think he's going to be like terrorizing Daniel like he was in Karate Kid 3. I think that's Kreese and Silver. I think he'll be a little more, because if you look at Sean Kanan right now, like he doesn't look that menacing. You know what I mean? He looks like a dad. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Sean.
That's a good point, actually. No one said that.
Like, right? Like, does he really look like he could be as threatening as he was in Karate Kid 3?
He's got them eyes. He's got those, like, those what do you call that? Just because, like, really, he's got them eyes where you look at him and you're just like, okay, you can get some sort of intimidation. But yeah, the fact, even seeing the videos and he's like kicking, I just think it's like a dad getting back into shape. You know what I mean? I know exactly what you mean. Like, I hope, Sean, don't take that as an offense if you're ever seeing this. But
we're roasting Jacob and Sean.
Oh man, we're looking like Kreese and Terry right now. Oh my god. Sorry, Jacob, but come on, man. Xolo, did you dirty?
It was Xolo, man. It was all Xolo.
Oh my god. That's so funny, man. That is so funny. Oh man. You know what's funny as well? Something just to bring up. It is a bit random, but Xolo, I think you saw his story. He was like, Netflix, you did me dirty with like one of the stills on Netflix and you were going on Cobra Kai. And he was saying, look what you did with Tanner, but look what you did with me. Maybe he's getting his revenge on another cast member.
I remember that. I remember someone like posted on YouTube like Xolo was like mad at Netflix. It blew up and it was like he was joking, it wasn't like
it was so clickbait, but that person got a bit of must have felt good getting all them views and just generally starting all this stuff. Like, imagine if it got so bad, like the Big Three heard about this and they were like, "Wait, what? Xolo, what?"
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, man, that would have been nuts. But dude, I honestly, I'm honestly excited for these character returns. Like yeah, even when we saw Kamiko and Chosen, that sold me on it. But you know, Mike and Terry, they're just so menacing at the same time. Although Mike obviously or Sean doesn't look that menacing now. I really want to see him kind of tease Daniel like old Mike Barnes, and then he just goes, "Nah, I'm just kidding." Like
That'd be funny.
similar to Chosen, because it's almost like I'm a different guy now. I ain't that guy no more. And this is the real me. Like it would be quite funny.
That would be. Yeah, like I feel like it's a different thing with Mike and Chosen. Like Chosen had like more of a vendetta against Daniel. Like there was like they were fighting to the death. There was like this whole thing. Like
Yeah,
Mike was more just hired for a job. So I don't think he
right.
really had anything personal against Daniel. You know, he was upset for losing the tournament, but like it's a tournament. You know, Chosen had more of a reason to be mad at Daniel. With like, you know, maybe like him and, you know, Chosen maybe had a thing for Komiko. Like there's like that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I don't think Mike would be as mad at Daniel. Like that would just be immature. And I mean, Silver, you know, we know the reason that he's mad at Daniel is because of Kreese. You know, like Kreese saved his ass. So if Kreese wants someone gone, then Silver's got his back, and we've seen that in Karate Kid 3, and Cobra Kai helped show that, you know.
Right. You know, I'm curious as well how Terry's going to be at first. I've always thought, yeah, he's going to be menacing. We want to see that Terry Silver side, but I feel that he's going to be reintroduced in a similar way as to how Kreese was in Karate Kid 3. You know, like Kreese is on the bottom, and you know, Silver was at the top with all his business, his money. And he was like, I'm going to make them two suffer for what they've done to you. And Kreese like, nah, you don't need to do that. I feel like maybe Terry, he might have the money still, but he might be a different guy now. And then Kreese sort of reignites that Karate Kid 3 Terry Silver, and then bang, those guys are back in business, you know? Because I don't know, after all these years, I don't know if Terry's going to be so hungry to do what he did not. But then Kreese kind of has, the more he's got back into Cobra Kai. So it's like that old Kreese is coming back.
Yeah. I feel like I think he will like still be like that like evil guy. Like he's just an evil person, even though he like even when he's not crazy and like
oh yeah,
I like that, Johnny. I like that. I'll use that. Like, you know, like even when he's not like that, he's still evil. So I think he'll always have that. But I think when we first see him, he'll be more like calm, collected, composed, as we saw in some scenes. You know, he's an older man. He's a lot more wise. Not saying he's doing like, you know, what does he dump toxic waste in all these places? That's a pretty like evil thing. So
that's huge.
yeah. So it's stuff like that where I think like that's still gonna be his personality, not really like caring about like that sort of stuff. And yeah, I think as the season progresses, he'll start to become more and more like psychopathic.
Right. Yeah. I honestly can't wait for that moment. You see, I feel like when they reintroduce Terry, everyone's going to be so hyped up, but it's going to be different. I don't think the writers are going to make you assume that Terry's going to be back to where he was as soon as we see him. I feel like there's going to be a slight build up, and then Terry's back, baby. And then literally we just see, what if Terry is like building up, and then season 5 we get that Terry that we want to see, because they can really drag that storyline, because Terry is such a big character. I feel like he's gonna have a big arc going into the other seasons. So what if like he's really not about all of this, and then we see him, but then they build up, and then by the end of season 4 he's like, you know, we got, you know, the expansion. I feel like that could happen in the series. I want to see Cobra Kai do the things that they couldn't had done before, like do the expansion, take over the valley. I mean, imagine Daniel and Johnny trying to deal with that, and then they bring Chosen, they bring Julie, they bring even Mike. Probably help, perhaps goes, yeah, we got to stop these crazy guys. Like I thought it'd be like a mini Karate Kid Avengers Assemble type thing, just getting all these karate guys. But I mean, I just want to see a good build up with Terry. I don't want it rushed because I mean, I don't think the writers will do that, but I just want to. I really want to just feel the journey of Terry being back because that's just it's gonna be crazy, man, seeing him back on screen.
Yeah, they definitely have to. I know we've talked about this. You know, if they're only on season 4 right now, and if they plan to go a couple more seasons, they gotta space everything out, which they've been doing. So it'll be interesting to
Right.
see how that goes.
And then
Uh,
season 7 that we plan, that's gonna really be dictated by the last season.
oh yeah, we'll write
Oh,
it right after the finale. We'll
for
we'll we'll
sure.
we'll write that script. You know, it'd be cool actually to do. We could do maybe like a stream where we like kind of make our like season 4 episode 1.
Oh, I love that idea. I mean, we could definitely talk about like all the things that we already know, and then sort of like create that synopsis of what we think will happen. And I mean, maybe we could do something even more fun with that, if you know what I mean. That's similar to what we're planning at the moment.
I got
Um,
you. Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool. Oh
Yeah.
man, just I honestly can't wait for that first image, that first teaser we get for season 4. Obviously, we've got so much time ahead of us, and yeah, just generally, just seeing the first teaser is going to blow our minds. I mean, I don't know if they'll do it similar to the first season 3 teaser because obviously the show was moving to Netflix, and they kind of just showed season 1, 2, then a bit of season 3. I'm just curious if they do like a shorter teaser, or we get a little bit more than we did initially for the season 3 teaser. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of curious when how that kind of happens and all that.
Well, that was like the release date announcement. I think that's what they titled it, like release date teaser.
Oh, I'm talking about the the first teaser when I think they I know I think they did say the date on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
That's when they revealed it was wait. Wait. Yeah. Wait, they said January 8th? Wait.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, so and then it kind of when it gets to the end, it's like shows you season 3, and then it shows you the little scene of Okinawa that zoom out, and then you hear Chosen and Daniel talking, and then are you
Oh.
sure about
Oh,
that?
the
I think
2-minute
that's the
trailer.
legacy one.
Oh, the
Yeah, it
legacy
was.
one. Oh, yeah. I thought you meant like the 40-second one with like the season 3 clips, like a bunch of them with like
Oh no,
John in the
yeah, I was talking
jail.
about the initial first because that was like the first little tease we got season 3 with Chosen. I mean, oh
Yeah.
my god, we got one thing I gotta say is we got completely misdirected with the whole weapon thing, and people thinking, oh, Miyagi used weapons. Oh, he killed
Yeah.
someone with a weapon. Oh, we were completely sold on this idea. It's like
Well, they were
the
like
next teaser.
yeah, they kind of like I mean, they, they kind of like set it up like Mr. Miyagi did something like terrible. They were like, Mr.
Hmm,
Miyagi taught me everything he knew. He wouldn't keep any secrets from me. Are you sure about that? Like we thought like it was something really bad, like Mr. Miyagi did something, but I mean, it just ended up being like there were some lessons that, you know,
yeah,
I feel like it was the trailer kind of like threw us off completely with that.
definitely, yeah. I mean, again, the writers are in that situation where they're like, oh, all the people are going to be saying Miyagi's a killer. He's done all of this. Yep, literally. Oh
I like
man,
that. I like that. I'll use
I
that.
like, I like that. Oh, funny enough, speaking of Crease, Martin Cove, you saw that video of Josh Hield and him, and they were saying about season 3 wrapping up on the finale and everything. And it seemed like a joke, but Martin said, um, Josh has promised me next season that Johnny will be going through a window. And I mean, I don't know if that was just like a joke, but you know, Martin also dropped that little thing in the Reunite Apart to Tanner about the whole the ROBBY joining Cobra Kai, and I was kind of subtle. I don't know if that was like just a joke or he actually meant it. But what do you think will be the next big fight, like the first big fight we see in season 4?
Hmm.
This is a big question because wow, I don't know how they're going to start with a big fight, like who is going to be in it, but
Well,
it's going to be hard to kind of.
what would you consider the first big fight of season 3? Like, I'm just asking your opinion.
When was the first fight that we got?
So,
Well, the bar fight. I mean, the fight with those guys at the start. That wasn't a big fight, but I mean, episode 2 when Johnny and Daniel team up. That was
oh yeah.
definitely the first big fight.
Well, wait, was the Kreese flashback that was before, right? That was before, I think.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was before. Would you consider that like the first big fight or no?
Is that when the captain does the whole like trips him up and he goes, if you lose concentration on the field, you'll be all that stuff.
Oh no,
The
the one where in episode 2 when young Kreese is fighting the
oh
Jaw, yeah.
Oh right. I think it wasn't like massive in the sense like so much is going on, but more of like it's big for his development and understanding the character. So it's hard to categorize that with the Johnny Daniel, because that was just these guys coming together and it's huge. But that Kreese one is more like understanding, he's still a good guy in some respect, but that's so hard to see now. I could put that. Maybe I wouldn't say the biggest fight, but I'd say probably the Johnny Daniel one. I just think of that immediately as a big fight.
That was a great fight. That was a great scene.
Man, I feel like they did ruin a lot of it in the trailers, but obviously they really want to promote the show. But all the best parts of that fight, I feel like they showed that kick. I mean, the first, the trailer, the official trailer that we got, we were both losing it that moment. I went crazy. But I feel like I wish I'd seen less because it feels like I've just seen the whole fight even before. I just hope the next big fight we have, we don't get too much of too many teasers from that specific fight, But yeah, going back to that question, what did you think would be the first big fight season 4?
I'm not really sure. What do you think?
Okay, so if Johnny is I feel like Johnny will get in a fight again. I mean, Johnny's always getting into fights, but Kreese and Johnny.
That's interesting. Johnny has always been in the fight in the very first episode of every season.
If he gets jumped, I mean, that would be quite interesting because Johnny just get on with his day and then he just gets jumped. But we've already seen him battered, and he kind of was not jumped. He kind of started that fight with those guys from the bar, but they kind of finished it. But imagine him genuinely just minding his business and he gets jumped from someone. Oh man, that would be nuts. It's hard to say, man. I'm even struggling to answer this question because, again, like I don't think Daniel and Johnny are gonna have some sort of fight like that at the start because they obviously got this relationship. Maybe Kreese will fight Johnny again, but maybe Kreese wins this time. But not that he kills him. Maybe he just kind of gets the upper hand, and maybe someone intervenes. Because again, like Johnny really had him in that fight. Can you imagine if Kreese gets like him and Terry and they go and jump Johnny? Like that'd be quite insane. If for a first episode, though, that'd be a lot to digest. But I would love that.
Daniel versus Silver, Johnny versus Kreese. That's it. That's all I need, and I'm complete in my life.
Yeah. Do you know? I definitely think that's gonna happen if it's towards the finale or they have like a parking lot moment, like in Karate Kid 2. Can you imagine Silver and Johnny kind of first time? I feel like Daniel and Silver would be a big moment because, again, like Daniel has never fought Kreese until that moment in the finale of season 3. I definitely want to see Daniel do something insane. I feel like he's going to learn more and more from that scroll that he was given by Chosen, perhaps, or just learn more about Miyagi-Do, and then he's going to do something insane to Terry. I mean, damn, can you imagine if someone like Daniel killed one of the big characters? Like, he killed Kreese or he killed Terry, but it was like kind of not like he wanted to hurt them, but he didn't want to kill them, sort of like with Robbie and Miguel. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, that would be a little nuts. I think I don't know if
it would be dark. Definitely dark.
It would be dark. I do think Kreese is gonna die by the end of the series, but I think he's gonna sacrifice himself. I don't know for what.
So you know what what's interesting is someone on my AMA the other day was saying about Miguel's dad coming into the fruition and coming into the story and then even like causing a lot of stuff, they've still kept that so secret about the father. And yeah, even if he's not Terry Silver, what if he's like worse than Terry or worse than Kreese? Can you imagine that? Like,
Yeah. We know he's a bad guy. I mean, I definitely think Miguel's father is going to come back. I'm surprised he didn't come back in season 3 because
mm,
I felt like there was like a story there with Miguel being in the hospital. That's like a reason why the father would come back. It would cause some animosity between
right.
Johnny and him. They didn't do that. So yeah, I mean, we don't know what happened to Johnny's father. We don't know what happened to Miguel's father. So
Yeah, that's, oh man, that it's funny how we don't know those two are like have a good relationship, and then yeah, we don't know anything about their fathers.
and Daniel's father. Oh well, he died. He died.
Yeah,
We know he died, but we don't know Johnny. I don't think Johnny ever said his father died, and Miguel never. Miguel's dad. We don't know if he's dead or not. You know.
again, that's something I think season 4 needs to look at, unless they keep that for the further seasons. I mean, that's something I still want to know. Like, knowing the father of Johnny would really change things, especially if it's something we're not expecting. I mean, it could be a completely whole new character we don't
Anthony
even think
LaRusso,
of.
like
What's
Anthony
that?
LaRusso.
Oh my god, that would be
Johnny's father's Anthony.
that would be huge. Imagine that. Anthony's actually like in disguise, and you know he uncloaks himself, and he's just this alien from another world. Just turns into Star Wars. I am your father.
Anthony comes. Wait, Daniel's son is Johnny's father.
You know that Jackie Chan meme? You're thinking like just literally all the Nick Young one, like
Oh yeah,
oh
yeah, I
man,
know that meme. But
oh
dude,
man,
it would be. I mean, going back to Anthony, like there's. I know we were talking about like characters like Moon, um, Yasmin, like they could have a role, but you know they're good where they are. Like Anthony needs a bigger role. He's the son of the Karate Kid. It's like that's like saying
yeah,
like if Johnny had another son who was in one episode, it's like we need to see Johnny's son. Like, but this is Daniel. You know what I mean? Even though Sam is like the Karate Kid of the family, kind of. I mean, I think Anthony, like I think there's a story there with not like focusing on him too much. I think he could be like a Bert Nate in a way, but like
yeah,
he kind of has that like natural Daniel in him, and you kind of see
right,
that like there's just something there. And you know, he lost the actor lost a lot of weight. You know, he's in good shape right
right.
now. So
You hit
I mean,
puberty, dude, like during the time, and yeah,
yeah.
you're right. He's in really good shape. So if he then becomes like super dense and becomes 6'5" and starts like over like being bigger than everyone, imagine that, just like
That'd be
crazy.
great.
I just want to see him have more involvement, man. It's so simple, and like you said, the Bert Nate thing. Even if he has a few lines and he's involved in the karate, that would be quite cool. Um, I mean, I've read some funny theories and ideas that he's gonna go against Daniel, join Cobra Kai, and be the next champion. And uh, just imagine someone like Terry teaching him. Like,
Oh god.
imagine
Oh
that.
my, that'd be funny as hell. That'd be so fun.
Oh my god! You imagine like Terry going, like just Terry's like getting to his head, and he has like a photo of Daniel, and he goes, "This guy isn't a real dad, is he?"
He wants to
No,
break
he
you,
isn't sensei.
humiliate you.
My God, man. Oh, God.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh my
Right.
god. It'd be worse than Demetri.
Oh, God,
Choreography.
yeah.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
sorry, I just remember that. We need to discuss the new about Janelle and Hiro not being part of
Yes.
season 4. I know
Yeah.
you did a video on it and I checked it out, but oh my God, man, I feel like this
Yeah.
is good and bad. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
Here, let me pull up the article here. I got it here. Let me pull it up for us. Okay. All right. So, We'll just skip to the last line because that's where it pretty much
Mm,
says like all the it says like the big thing. But basically, Hiro Koda and Janelle Kerfman, who are the stunt coordinators for Cobra Kai, like all the fights you see in the show are them, like everything from the Miyagi-Do fights to the Cobra Kai fights to the flashback fights, everything is them. And they also work on Stranger Things, so
mm,
they're very credible and very talented. And Janelle was the stunt woman for Tory in a lot of the scenes and a lot of the fights, and
mm.
Hiro was the referee in in Cobra Kai, similar to
Season
how
one.
yeah, in season 1, similar to how, Pat E. Johnson, the,
Mm.
stunt coordinator of Karate Kid, was the referee then, which, do you think, I'm thinking about this for the first time. If they're not involved in season 4, do you think Hero is gonna be the referee of the All Valley tournament or no?
It's possible. I mean, I'm kind of shocked that they're not part of the next season because I mean they're just getting better and better with these fight scenes, and like that fight finale sequence and the LaRusso fight was crazy. I think this can only be they can only get more people experienced in that sector because you can't go. I mean, getting better than Janelle and Hiro is a statement, and these guys are phenomenal. Look at the work they've done, and yeah, they're working on another big show, Stranger Things, and I'm pretty sure they have a contract with Netflix because they're doing both of these shows. So um, perhaps it was just a bit coincidental with the fact they were already working on a Netflix show, and then obviously Cobra Kai moved. But I mean, I can only imagine that they are. I mean, a point I did bring up on in a stream is that I think they might be letting the actors themselves maybe do a bit more stunts because a lot of these guys they've been doing they wanted to do more of their own stunts. Like Jacob technically wants to be a stuntman. He does that. He has done that mini film. Um, Tanner did that, off the wall run, and he's obviously really talented. And you see that recent image of him. He's wham. He's in really good shape. He's ripped, and then like someone like Xolo, who pretty much did all those scenes in the the All Valley dream sequence. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure like these guys are getting older, they're getting more experience. And Hiro a while ago stated that these guys are getting so good at karate that I had to tell them to turn it down a notch because obviously when they're doing scenes, they don't want to actually hit anyone.
Yeah.
Um, Perhaps they just wanted to let them do a little bit more, but obviously you still need a stunt team. Maybe if they get someone a little bit less experienced, I mean, surely that just means the actor's going to be doing more of their own thing, or they're bringing in people from the movies. There's obviously really big stunt coordinators in there, and perhaps they're bringing them to build bigger and more insane battles. But it is sad, man, to see that Kerfman and Kiddo aren't going to be part of season 4.
Yeah. And I agree with you. Like I think it's great that a lot of the actors are doing their own stunts, like Tanner,
Mm.
all of them. And I like how they're like contributing to that, but none of them are stuntmen and stunt women. So
Yeah,
it's not even about doing the actions, it's about like the choreography and
yeah,
Hero
teaching
and
them.
Janelle, Hero and Janelle are the ones that teach them how to fight. They're the ones that make the choreography. So you can be as great as you want at karate, but it's two completely different skills to actually do the
Mm.
karate and to plan a fight with two characters. So
Right. The
I don't
thing
know how they're gonna do that.
That's a great point because the thing is, without there's stunt doubles, which is obviously you're doubling for that specific actor, and the stunt coordinators. These guys are coordinators as well, and I mean it's in the name. They're getting you to do certain scenes in a certain way so they can achieve that goal of what they're trying to bring out with the scene. And I think the fact that they're not part of it, I mean, yeah, these guys could get better at stunts, but it's a legal thing as well. They can't have actors getting injured and stuff. I mean, there'd be a massive legal battle if things like that were going on. And I'm pretty sure it's like in the contracts, like they can definitely do stuff with their character with the action, but they need a legal stunt coordinator or stunt double that can also supervise for scenes, because some of the stunts might be a bit too dangerous, and they don't want to put them at risk. So I mean, I'm pretty sure you need a stunt coordinator on this kind of production no matter what. But yeah, I'm just kind of surprised that they're not part of it, because they know Cobra Kai best. They've been part of Cobra Kai since season 1, and I know that they've specifically choreographed these scenes, and they know best from what they've done. So in season 4, they could be like, okay, what can we add from this fight, and then from that fight, and then can bring in this fight that's fresh. They've already done it. I think bringing someone new, like it's got to get, the scenes have got to get more crazy up there. So I can't imagine why they'd be not part of it for any other reason.
Yeah. So just to like fill you guys in, the article that this was announced on, it was like an interview. Bleeding Cool is the name of the article that reported this, and they did an interview with Hiro and Janelle. And I'll quickly read the statement. So they say, unfortunately, their stunt team isn't involved with Cobra Kai's 4th season that's currently shooting. According to Kerfman, stated they decided to go a different direction. So obviously it's not Hiro and Janelle said we don't want to do it anymore, or Netflix. Right. It's they decided to go a different direction. So they got fired or let go from, that's what I'm getting from this, which is crazy.
Right. I mean, I know that because of the move to Netflix, perhaps with the budget they have now, maybe they're just trying to bring in a team with just a bit more experience than those two. But Janelle and Hiro have been in the industry for a long time, and Janelle's worked on really big films. And for example, she's the stunt double for Nebula, or Karen Gillan, in the MCU, who plays Nebula in Guardians. And she was in Endgame. I'm pretty sure she was in Infinity War as well. She's worked on big films. Hiro's done a lot. Stranger Things. And I just think they have to be going with someone with more experience than those guys, because a different direction, it's a bit worrying. Like, are they going to turn down in the fights? Like, I hope not, because this is one of the great things about the show. But I'm thinking positively, and I just think that they're going to build on what they have, and maybe just get some really expert martial artists in that have been doing this since like day 1 kind of thing. And no disrespect to Janelle and Hiro, but maybe they're just trying to get more experienced people. But I am annoyed that they're still not going to be part of season 4, because they've been with Cobra Kai since day 1, and all the action and all those sequences were because of them. The fights that we got. So it is sad. Yeah.
It's crazy, because especially if you've been following the show since season 1, since the YouTube days, it was a very small community, and these guys, like, you see all the behind the scenes of them training, it's with these guys. So these guys were the ones who got them to where they are. And as you said, they're probably doing this to get better people. I think Hiro and Janelle are great. I'm sure there are better people out there though that and they say they want to go in a different direction. So maybe they're really stepping it up, now that it's on Netflix, they really want to up it up. But at the same time though, as you said, season 4 and season 3, like the gap there, I don't know how long this was in the books, because we don't really know. This article was released when was it, like a couple days ago, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it was a couple days ago that they got let go, because they were filming on the 20th. So we don't know how long the new team has been working with them. These guys have been with them for what is it, like 3-4 years? Or so a lot of chemistry, a lot of they know the ins and outs. The writers are obviously collaborating with them on the fights. They want to talk to them what they want, and Hiro and Janelle know what the writers want, which is very, very important to have that chemistry. So no matter what it is, season 4 is going to have good fights. I think it's just sad from fan perspective. Like these were like the guys who brought it to us, Right.
It's sad. It really is. I really hope the decision was done in an appropriate way. You know, not just like, okay, you know, we're about to film season 4, and unfortunately we want to go a different direction. That's it. I mean, from what Janelle said, it didn't sound like it was. You know, it's hard to say because it's a quote, but it doesn't sound like it was done in the wrong way. It was kind of like, yeah, we're sorry, but we want to try something different. And you know, I feel like these guys deserve a lot of respect though for what they've done with the show. Damn, I'm just thinking like what else could they bring out of these scenes and with the new team? Are they trying to make it feel more like a movie, perhaps? Imagine if you got like a John Wick stunt coordinator being part of it, and we don't know who the new team consists of. If we got like an idea of who that was and how long this has been planned for them to be coming in for season 4. I mean, this could have been planned months ago, and then Janelle and Hiro just kind of found out not like 2 days ago, but like, yeah, maybe a few weeks, and maybe there was no interviews with them, so they never got this information out. But I just hope they're doing the right thing, you know. And I think with Netflix, yeah, they obviously got a very big budget when you compare it to YouTube Red. So I just hope it's the right thing and they know what they're doing with it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very curious. We don't even know who this team consists of. I have a feeling though, if they're gonna go up from Hiro and Janelle, I have a feeling it's like these like karate masters. So I mean, you know what I mean? Like
the Shinpo Sensei, all the Miyagi instructors.
Dude, that's kind of like what I'm picturing. I'm picturing like some like all Miyagi's ancestors coming, training them. Like I mean,
if they bring in like these accomplished Hollywood stars as stunt coordinators, or people like, I'm just thinking of you know, if they include these really big names, not for necessarily the show, but just the combat. Like, you know, there's people like Donnie Yen, who he was in Ip Man. I think he was in Rogue One as well. You probably know him in that. I mean, there's Scott Adkins. He's a very well-known stuntman, and he does his films, and he's insane at fighting. A lot of these guys, they've been doing it. They've been in the game for years and years, and they could give that perhaps show a bit more of what maybe Janelle and Hiro don't have. And damn, man, I just think the stunt coordinator, the new team better be really good if they had to go to Janelle and Hiro and say, yeah, we're going to bring in new people for it. You know, it can only get better. I mean, that's the only way I can imagine it. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I think it will. You know, I mean, I don't. Hiro and Janelle are obviously very talented when it comes to like karate and martial arts, but I think maybe, and you know, we know the cast is very skilled in that, but I think maybe they're just trying to find like a different approach to the choreography. Because, I mean, I don't want to like nitpick, but like there are like some moments like where you like catch one thing in the back, like.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? There's some things which I don't know if it's them or like, I mean, something that's like kind of like always like caught my attention was in the fight in season 3, episode 2 at the Daniel and Johnny against the guys at the car repair shop. Remember when Johnny like gets that guy, like holds him behind his back, and then like Daniel like sweeps his leg? Remember that?
Yeah.
Johnny's like holding him there for like 10 seconds, just like holding him there, like waiting for Daniel for like 10 seconds. It was kind of like
that guy could struggle and like get out of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like I don't want to say like, cause obviously they're amazing and like what they do is amazing, but like maybe they're just trying to go for like a different, like they're really trying to up it, like so it's like, and we know like Silver's coming back, that like the All Valley, they want to really step it up. So maybe more of like a martial arts kind of feel than like a choreographed fight. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I think they could build on the intensity of fights, because I feel like at times, like, you can see, you know, these guys, like especially the Johnny Daniel fights and Kreese, you know their age and they're getting stunt doubles come in. I feel like the pacing is can be a little bit slow at times, but the fights are still brilliant. I think maybe they just want to make it feel like so intense, like it's so hard to keep up with it. And in like a real fight, it's sort of similar to that. I want to feel a bit more engaged. And if you compare this to like John Wick or the big films in Hollywood, you can see the difference in the combat. So yeah, I think there's one scene in the finale where, or actually, I think it's at the end of one of the episodes where Kreese is sort of saying his mantra, and kind of the students are kyoing, and I think I don't know which actor it was, but one of them had it's just even their stance. Like everyone had their stance like this. His stance was like this. He was doing punches like that. And I'm like, as a stunt coordinator, or if I was hitting Janelle, like, I mean, I don't know if they saw that, but yeah, that's a bit nitpicking. But I was like, I would be getting that guy in line. Like, come on, man, get in the right stance, not here, like everyone else. And I think, yeah, it is the little things that might have been adding up, and perhaps if the big three kind of realize, like, oh, okay, we maybe need to, yeah, like you said, go from that choreographed type of fighting, and I think the scenes just have to get bigger and more insane. So, yeah, like I said.
Well, here's the thing: like, you got to give them credit because they do. Right? Do they do everything? Like, do they train the kids and do the fights? Because there's so much. Like, you have Johnny has one fighting style, Daniel has a fighting style, Hawk, Miguel,
Right.
and you have Miyagi-Do fights, Cobra Kai fights. Right?
Yeah, it's hard to. I feel perhaps maybe if they're both teaching them. I don't know if they're teaching everyone a general way, or they kind of separate them. So perhaps Hiro is teaching the guys at Cobra Kai, and then Janelle's teaching the Miyagi-Do, or other way around. I mean, yeah, no matter what, it's hard. And I don't know if it's just those two, or they have people as well with them, because they're a team at the end of the day. I mean, it'd be even harder to achieve if it's just Janelle and Hiro. They would need others to kind of help them with that. I feel that they will. It could be the fact that if it was just them. I mean, yeah, I feel sorry for them then, because they're doing all that work on their own, and maybe they just need more support. But yeah, no matter what, like, just going back to that first thing we were saying, like, they've been part of the series since day one of it, so it's quite hard to let go of them. And they didn't. It's not like they did a bad job, or they made the fights flimsy, or they just weren't convincing. It wasn't like that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this is just maybe they want to just upgrade what the show's about in the cry aspect. So yeah, I'm excited, but yeah, I feel for them.
Yeah. Yeah, like I agree, you know. Obviously the fights are amazing. It's not it's obviously tough when you have these kids who've never done karate before. Daniel and Johnny, William and Ralph, they're not karate experts. So I'm sure it's gonna look choreographed, but I think it is more like a choreograph. Like, you can tell a lot of times. There's some times where it's really, really authentic. Like, I mean, just one random example is the season 1, episode 1, when Johnny's fighting all those bullies. Like, that's so authentic. Right. It's so great. Yeah. It feels real. But then there's like other times where it's more like maybe in the tournament or whatever. It's more punch here, kick here, like block. It's very, very precise and scripted, more choreographed. And maybe they're just trying to go for a more martial arts. And I mean, ultimately it's the kids who are the ones doing it. So it might not even be like Hiro and Janelle. It just might be like, you know, like these kids aren't like, as they're not karate experts, but at the same time though, yeah, they might just want to go in a different direction.
You know, I'm really thinking about it, and you know that All Valley sequence, the dream sequence with Miguel, those kicks that I think it is Xolo doing all of them. They were insane. He was doing like a tornado kick. He was doing spins. Like, it was wow. Like, that was authentic. You know, you're talking about the Johnny fight. Like, those fights, you think of them, they're just so. I feel they're so authentic, and that fight with Miguel and that other karate student, I was like, if that's the action we're going to see in season 4 with every fight, even with like Mary, Peyton, those scenes as well, like, and all the other actors and actresses, like, damn, the combat's gonna look amazing in every scene. Like, it doesn't matter what. No scene to me will be a big fight unless it's like the finale. It will all feel the same, but the action's gonna be so intense and yet so gratifying. Like, I think that would be pretty insane if they kind of take that intensity of just so much action there and then, and it's like out of this world type of kicks, like not just a roundhouse. It's like a spin kick. It's it's really really advanced stuff. I'd love to see that from season 4.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that they're not. I don't think they're involved in any aspect with this. Like, I think they're completely out because the article said they're not involved. She said they decided to go a different direction. It was very bland, very like they got rid of us, which is sad. I don't think it was definitely like the higher ups. I don't think it was something. Yeah, because we know the cast and the crew have a very close relationship. So it's sad, but
no, this could be funny enough. Maybe they're experienced enough, of course, to be in Stranger Things, because that's not about fighting and necessarily. It's not karate. It's not so heavily involved in that. Funny enough, I think I don't think the big three would have been wanting to do that. I think they had a great relationship with them. Yeah. I think something to do with Netflix, like you said, the uppers, maybe they took control, because funny enough, the show is now fully on Netflix, and the first season that Netflix is creating is basically like getting rid of Janelle and Hiro, and yeah, they're still part of Stranger Things, so they couldn't disrespect them, because they could easily go, all right, we'll walk away from Stranger Things as well if you're going to just leave us like that. But I feel, yeah, it seems sad on their side. Like, yeah, we really wanted to stick around, but they just kind of went, yeah. I just hope, yeah, the scenes are more insane, more intense, and I think they might be just getting people with more experience and, yeah, like legit, like Miyagi karate experts. I just feel like that kind of vibe. Like they can definitely find more sources of people that have been doing it longer.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's for the better, but it's also a little scary, to think, Netflix taking over Cobra Kai. This is the first thing they do. What else could they possibly do? Maybe they'll fire the big three.
I'm not gonna lie, but if they fire the big three or
no, that's
anything like that, no, I'm
Macchio fired.
If Ralph, if I'm not even kidding, let's say there's a crazy scenario where the big three are fired. Could you, like, Ralph and Billy would probably walk away as well, because they'd be like, well, these guys introduced it to us. I don't think Netflix can ever do that, even if they wanted to. Like, the big three, they got plot armor almost. Like, you can't get rid of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's how I felt with, like, I thought like a lot of the cast and crew were like, the success was so huge that we're just gonna stick with it and see how it goes. But I mean, it does make sense if you're gonna change something to change this, because it could be done for the better. And it's sad that now Janelle's not gonna even be a stunt woman, because even if she's not directing the fights, she's a great stunt woman.
Yeah, and she does. I mean, she does it in the scenes. You can't even tell if that's Peyton or Janelle. Like, they do that really well, and getting the same costume and everything. But yeah, even just to keep her on, or even Hiro, just for keep Hiro as the referee for the next tournament, and then keep Janelle as a stunt double. At least do that.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they're not the main stunt coordinators, but they're still part of it, and they can still do great. Yeah, it is sad.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I don't know, hopefully they get brought back somehow.
Right.
Do you want to you want to end it with, you want to talk about the I know you didn't watch the documentary, but we could talk about I made a video on it, and I think I want to hear your thoughts on it. It's something really cool that I found. So the documentary had a lot of this is, by the way, I'm referring, for those of you who don't know, I'm referring to the More Than Miyagi Pat Morita documentary that just came out recently. It's really great. I recommend you guys check it out. So it had interviews with Ralph Macchio, William Zabka, Sean Kanan, William Christopher Ford, and Robert Mark. Did I say Martin Kove? I did say Martin Kove, right?
You'll get into that, I think.
Martin Kove, and then Karate Kid writer Robert Mark Kamen. Wow. Whoops. I gotta figure that out. So in the documentary, Robert Mark Kamen, the writer of the original Karate Kid, revealed that they were talking about the next Karate Kid with Julie Pierce, and he revealed that he didn't want to do that movie, and he didn't even want to do Karate Kid 3. Instead, what he wanted to do was a movie revisiting the first Miyagi ancestor, which we've heard this story from Karate Kid 2 in Cobra Kai Season 3. That's Shinpo Sensei, the first Miyagi, went to China, learned the origins of Miyagi-Do karate, and came back and like spread his teachings. So that if Kamen had his way, if the studio hadn't said anything, we wouldn't have had Karate Kid 3. We wouldn't have had Terry Silver. We wouldn't have had Mike Barnes. We would have never had the next Karate Kid. We would have had this movie, and we would have learned a lot about the origins of Miyagi-Do. So what do you think about that reveal? I found that so interesting.
That was mad. I thought Kamen was like, look, guys, this is my plan. I want to do this. And the studio went, nah, sorry. I feel like I would have loved that idea as like perhaps a spin-off after they finished the Karate Kid story, like just the general films. Because that's something I always wanted to know more about the Miyagi ancestors. And the Shinpo Sensei, that's such a big story they refer to. And yeah, like what's it? Yeah, Miyagi tells Daniel about that in Karate Kid 2, I believe, and then he repeats that to Chosen that, you know, I learned a lot from Miyagi and the Shinpo Sensei, and even Chosen's like surprised. I love that idea, but just knowing that no Terry Silver, no Mike Barnes, no Karate Kid 3, the third film for me, like that would have affected Cobra Kai series. Like, imagine going into season 4, what would we talk about? Would it just be more about Miyagi-Do and the origins again, or would the whole of Cobra Kai wouldn't have been called Cobra Kai? It would have just been about Daniel, obviously Johnny still around, but more about, you know, Daniel and learning more about Miyagi-Do and understanding maybe more about it that maybe Miyagi didn't tell him himself. Although he said he learned everything. I think the Shinpo Sensei story is quite just hearing it, you're just like, oh, I want to see how this happened. It's how he learned the karate, how he brought it back. I would have loved that. And the fact that Pat Morita would have been back as well, that would have been quite nice to see another film with him. Obviously, the fourth film, like, people probably wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered too much to a lot of people because they feel like it wasn't the strongest, but it did have some great scenes. I don't know if I would have been happy if this went ahead just because of thinking Karate Kid 3 and the impact that had, but I mean, I would have still liked to see this film regardless.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm glad we got Karate Kid 3. I think we needed that, especially with Cobra Kai. But I think, and I'm a fan of Karate Kid 4, the next Karate Kid. I liked it. But I would have probably preferred this movie just because it's more original. Karate Kid 4 is kind of like a separate, you don't have Daniel LaRusso. It doesn't really tie in too much. This movie, I want to see this movie. And I think we've heard the talks about spin-off shows. They revisited Shinpo Sensei in season 3. I think this is something that I think the writers want to go into the Miyagi origin story, explore the first Miyagi, and then maybe tie it into Miyagi's childhood. Cool. I find that whole thing so interesting. It's such a great story. And I mean, I think if you're going to do that too, get Robert Mark Kamen involved and have the big three and Kamen in that. What do you think?
Do you know, that is a big possibility. Let's say they wrap up with Cobra Kai. They've got these spin-offs. Okay, we know there's going to be a Kreese spin-off with, Kreese and Terry and their adventures, but like, the journey in Vietnam. But
the Adventures of Kreese and Silver.
It'd be quite cartoony. They could bring them. They did like a cartoon and put their voices on. That'd be mad. But
that'd be cool.
But like, generally speaking, I think if we see a film, the big three would 100% go we're gonna imagine that happens again. They go to a restaurant, they go to Cayman. These guys gave me the best idea. That's something I wanted to do, and I would love to see that happen after Cobra Kai because that's something we still haven't got. Obviously, there'd be no Pat Morita, but like that film would honor him. But like the thing is, who would be who, and the casting, which would be interesting because it'd be few years down the line after Cobra Kai. And yeah, it really does add more to the Karate Kid universe and all of the things and stories that we've heard. So I would love to see that still happen. I think it could still happen. Cayman, I think I'm pretty sure that he has a pretty good relationship with the Big Three, and he loves what they've been doing. So if they bring him back, and you know, they kind of let Cayman take the lead in a way because it was his idea and the way he wanted it, and then the Big Three can facilitate and make this happen. I would love to see about the Shinpo Sensei because that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Would you prefer it as a TV show with maybe like one season, 5 episodes, something like that, or would you prefer it as a movie?
See, this depends because we haven't seen a film since in the Karate Kid universe since the reboot, but obviously that's not part of this. The last one was Next Karate Kid. I want to see another film in this universe. I would love to. And the way that he wanted it to be a film probably would have been, it would make more sense. But in terms of structure, they could structure each episode on, you know, the different aspects of all the stories that we heard about it. So one episode could just be the introduction of the Shinpo Sensei. The next could be about, you know, him teaching the karate, or even towards the end and in chronological order with what we heard, like the whole story with Shinpo Sensei. I think it would be better structured in the series. And yeah, you have someone like Netflix, they can get that going. That would be huge. A film, again, that could be on Netflix as well, but it really depends. I didn't mind, to be honest, but I think it would be better as a 10-part series because they can really go into detail with everything.
Yeah, me too. Cobra Kai was actually originally conceived as a movie, so that's insane. But as we all know, with what they're doing, it would have never worked. You have each season is 5 hours compared to if a movie was 2 hours. So I think make it like, write it like a movie, write it like a 5-hour movie and just split it into parts. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it works the same way, and it's more engaging, and I could just see like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, each an hour long, and or something like that. And I would love that personally. That'd be great.
That's what they did with the Snyder Cut. I think they, even though it's a film, it's like a 6-hour film. So they've done it. I think they split it into 3 episodes, so 2 hours each. So like, yeah, with this series, I think they could, or the format of the series would work well with the story. And you know, if the Big Three are involved as well, I think another great thing is you've seen the great editing they've done in Cobra Kai, like when Daniel or Johnny talk about an event and they show it, like the I think the deleted scenes as well, and that thing that Daniel says to him when, you know, he's about to fight Chosen, and he says, "I know," and we never saw that. Imagine if they kind of voice over the scene when Miyagi's telling Daniel about the Shinpo Sensei and the whole story, and they show that scene and they show that dialogue from the film. They could link back to the films and also those moments, and it'll be quite cool to kind of touch on that, and that would be quite enjoyable for the screen. So I would love to see that happen as well.
Yeah, it's great because we know this story. Shinpo Sensei went to China, you know, got drunk, his boat crashed, and then he came back 10 years later. Secrets of Miyagi-Do, he had the wife and children. So we know the story. That's the story. But then they literally say there's 10 years. Like 10 years later, he returns. So there's that 10-year gap of what happened in those 10 years. And there's just so much. And it's like, it would be, just imagine seeing the origins of the crane kick, the pressure points technique,
dude, that could be
kata, how they like discover kata. I think all of that, like, imagine seeing the first crane kick.
Oh, like imagine seeing the first time the pressure points technique was used. Like, remember Chosen said they were used to kill their enemies. Imagine someone using that to kill their enemy. Imagine seeing the Shinpo Sensei, if he is using it, or whoever he taught was using it to fight the invaders. You actually see what it was like if, you know, so and so was killed. Because it really reminds me of that scene with, although it wasn't, you know, Daniel didn't kill him. Just imagine, what if, you know, Daniel killed Chris after the pressure points? They would have kind of showed that with, you know, with the Shinpo Sensei story and how that actually happened. I won't obviously, they won't have the honk and be like honk and then just kill them. Imagine that.
I think that was Miyagi's thing. I think
Miyagi wanted to put a spin on it.
Yeah.
Imagine the honk, like right before you die, the honk, and then you just go.
Oh man, that'd be funny. It's something that I think they will explore in the future, and I think it's very exciting. So, I mean, we're at the hour 40 mark. I don't know if you want to. I know we were talking about doing something at the end of the show. Do you want to save that for next week, or?
Ooh, we could, you know. So what the idea was. So I do this on my channel, but of course you've got loads of people who want to ask you stuff, and I was suggesting that, you know, maybe we get a few people in the comments, or the subscribers, or one or two of them, just to pop onto the stream with us, ask their question, and then that's it. If you want to do one or two now quickly, I mean, totally up to you, man.
Yeah, well, we could do like 2. How's that?
Sure, that's awesome.
Cool. Really quickly, got some super chats from Macam TV. Thank you. Hey guys, love the channel. I made Cobra Kai season 4 dream trailer, dropping it this Friday. Cool.
Oh,
that's exciting. Fan trailer.
That's cool. I love all these like concept trailers and stuff you can see. Fan made stuff's great.
I saw this good one. It was like this Terry Silver one, season 4 concept trailer. It was actually really good.
That's dope.
I forgot where it is, but I'll send it to you if I see
you know
it
what's
again.
Funny? One of my mum's friends, he doesn't exactly like him, but he looks like the actor that plays Terry, but like, because he has the short hair and stuff. He hasn't got the ponytail, but if he grew the ponytail, like, he could look a little bit like Terry. But if that, oh man, imagine if genuinely my mum knew a Terry Silver, that'd be quite funny.
Well, that's perfect for our season 7. We already got a Terry Silver.
There we go. He's still alive. He survives.
That'd be great. I love J Pop. Thanks for the super sticker. Crane Kick says, I really expected the scroll to read Way of the Cobra. like way of the fist.
Way of the Cobra is the name of Sean Cannon's book, so we don't want to be conflicting with that, you know.
Yes.
Imagine if he just joins in, he says, your podcast is a joke, and then he just leaves. Dude, all right, Sean, we're at war right now.
That would be funny. Wait, when does that book come out?
I think I don't know when exactly, but I think you can still pre-order it and all that. So hoping soon. I actually want to get it at some point, because it does seem pretty interesting, and Sean Cannon's quite an interesting guy, so I'd like to see his perspective on Way of the Cobra.
Yeah, for sure. So do you want to take 2 people?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think you put the link in the stream, and whoever pops up, I mean, there's gonna be so many people joining, so the first 2 that pop up, it's gonna be fun to watch.
I've never done this before. Okay.
Get prepared, bro. Loads of people are gonna go like. So yeah, guys, Drew's gonna put the link in, you know, the comments. So the first people who join will get the first 2 people, one by one, and then you can ask a question.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll do this again in the future. Maybe we could end like streams like this. We'll take a couple people each at the end of each stream, but we'll do like maybe like one day we'll just like dedicate it to just this, so we get more people on.
Sure.
But just for today, because we're already at the end, we talked about a lot. We'll do this. So I'm gonna put it up now. I'm like I'm a little afraid, honestly. We got like 200 people here.
Oh my god. Oh dude, this is gonna go crazy.
All right, so if you guys like have a question, like just like ask us come on and ask us a question.
Sure.
I don't see anyone right now. Oh, I do see someone.
then you can change the layout. So then when they join, it'll be like spread more. If that makes sense.
Like this?
Yeah.
Is that better or like this?
I think if we get another person, it will they'll be on the end. I think the other one would. Yeah, that would. Oh, I love the background as well, man. That looks awesome.
Yeah, I like this.
The color as well.
Yeah, for sure. I like the yellow back. It's like the OG season 1. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get OK in here. His name is actually OK. So here we go.
Oh, okay.
What's up, OK?
What's up?
How you doing? You have a question?
Do you think Johnny and Daniel are gonna team up against Kreese?
They kind of already are.
But like, Johnny and Daniel like fight them like.
Oh wait,
like
what do you mean again?
Like, yeah.
I mean, I think it will happen, but with Terry, right, Drew?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll be a one-on-one. I think it'll be a. Sorry, I was just reading the private chat. I see some people commenting in the private chat. I'm new to all this, but yeah, I think it'll be Terry and Kreese versus Daniel and Johnny, as we discussed before.
All right, cool. Back to your question, man.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
Okay.
Cool. All right, wait. Wait, kick from studio, or actually, I guess it doesn't really matter because we're gonna be ending it anyways, right? Okay. Yeah. All right. We got Jake Music. What's up?
Not much.
Music.
How about you guys? Not much. First off, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of your guys' channels. I'm a big fan. My question is, do you think there's going to be like a fight between Terry Silver and Kreese?
I mean, that'd be quite nuts to see, Terry losing it against Kreese, because we've never really seen them have a fight. We've always seen them like as a brotherhood. They're so tight knitted. You've never really seen them have a conflict, from what I've seen as well. So, what do you think, dude?
Yeah.
Wait, who are you asking?
Here, Jake, you go.
I feel like I could see it because in Karate Kid 3, after Mike Barnes lost, you could kind of tell there's I don't want to say tension, but you could tell there was disappointment going on. I think it would just be very interesting.
Yeah, I think if they were to do that, it would be a lot later on. I think they'll have some disagreements in season 4. I don't think they'll vibe as much as they did in Karate Kid 3. I think there'll be some disagreements to make it a little more interesting and some conflict there. But yeah, should be fun to see that rivalry and friendship too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Jake, for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Have a good one. You too. Bye. It's cool, man. Dude, yeah. We'll do we'll definitely it's already pretty late, but we'll do this again, and we could start it a little earlier, right?
Sure. Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, that whole one, at some point we can do a whole like questions and discussions thing for one. I mean, if you want, for one time, maybe on my channel, one of my AMAs kind of becomes a Q&A for both of us. So, however you want to do it, man, I'm down.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be cool. I'm so down for that. It's fun, and I like the interaction. That's cool that you do it. Yeah, guys, Shamoon does this on Cobra Kai Nation every Sunday at what time?
7 p.m. GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Finally understand what that means now. Mean time.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to check that out, of course, you're welcome. I love anyone that's Drew subscriber is officially my friend. So yeah, that's how I'll treat you.
Cool, man. Yeah. And do you want to talk about? I know you got that Bo Mitchell interview coming. When's that?
Yeah, so I think it's tomorrow. See, this is a little bit early, so if you can make it, for me it's 1 p.m. GMT, but for anyone in the States, I think it's 8 a.m. Eastern time, so it's an early one. So I'm not, if you can make it. I mean, I don't expect too many people to join just because of the fact it's quite early, unless a lot of my subscribers are from the UK, but for most from the States. But yeah, if you guys can tune into that. And I do have something coming on the 18th, but I can't announce that until I think maybe tomorrow or Wednesday I'll announce it. But I'm super excited for that. But yeah, I won't say anything about that. Tuesday, Bo Mitchell, 1 p.m. GMT. I'll see you guys there.
Cool. It should be a lot of fun. And we got something cooking. Me, Shamoon, and some other people got something cooking for this Friday, which should be a lot of fun. Which
that's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, we'll announce that soon, right here on the channel. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us for the stream. We'll see you next Monday. We're gonna talk, Shamoon, because it might be changed to 2 o'clock. We'll figure that out. But Monday,
yeah, sure.
Okay, that's so good. So what we have to figure? How are we ending the streams? What's up?
Oh my god! Well, wait, what does Kreese say when he's talking to Johnny in the bar? He says the thing about he ends it with the way of the fist, but he says something and then we maybe end it like that, perhaps.
He says like you need to come back, like you belong in Cobra Kai, like you need the way of the fist or something along that lines. But I also like when Johnny kicks the when Johnny's doing his commercial and he's like join Cobra Kai and let me teach you the way, like
the way of the fist.
That's pretty good.
Okay, we could go something like that. How do you want to do it? Like you say the thing and I say way of the fist, or do we kind of both say it?
I don't know. Well, we can mix it up. So I did it last week, so you could do it this week. You could say the join Cobra Kai. And let me teach you. Okay.
All right. Okay. Join Cobra Kai, and let me show you
the way of the fist.